Hi guys, it's KINO. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card reading, we're going to be asking Spirit to share some information about your next breakthrough. I want to leave this reading super open for any messages that you need to come through. So we could see messages about one specific event or one specific area of your life or multiple areas of your life. But basically, what we want to know is an energy that has been stagnant or something that you've been struggling with that is finally going to improve, speed up, start to make progress. Where are you breaking free? Where are you having a significant transformation? Where are you having huge leaps of progress next in your life? So there are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today, and in each reading we're going to be using a different tarot deck. I've also placed different crystals on top, and I'm also going to show you a card from each deck so that you can get a feel for what the artwork looks like. So when choosing your group, you may be drawn to the crystal, to the back artwork of the deck, to the front artwork, or if you're familiar with tarot, you may even be drawn to the actual card that comes out, because it's going to be different for each group. So, also, if you are drawn to more than one, that is totally fine. You are welcome to listen to any and all groups that are calling to you today. So, without further ado, let's get a close-up look at each of your options. Number 1s, you have this Amethyst Cloud and the Dream Visions Tarot. And your card is the 6 of Wands. Number 2s, you have this Tangerine Quartz spiky guy, and you have the Soul Tarot, and your card is the High Priestess. Number 3s, you have this Zebra Calcite Heart and the Wild Unknown Tarot, and your card is the 3 of Pentacles. And number 4s, you have this Aventurine Mushroom and the Muse Tarot. And your card is the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so just in case you need a bit more time to pick, these are all of your options laid out side by side so that you can compare them and see which one or ones are calling to you the most. As always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s. So if you guys chose the beautiful Amethyst Cloud, I love her. This is going to be your reading all about the next breakthrough that is about to happen in your life. So we're going to start off by taking a look at these oracle cards. My group number 1s, your first card is Peace. Last quarter moon. Immense growth. And breaking trail. A breakthrough is at hand. Very good. Very literal message in our breakthrough reading. I love these first 2 cards together. The last quarter moon, this is talking about a situation that is coming to a close in your life. There is something that has been gradually, steadily making its way out of your life to prepare you for a new cycle. And I want to tell those of you who chose this group, if you are in a situation that has been bringing you like stress, worries, unease, that you have been dreading, that has brought like a tenseness to your life, that situation is on its way out. You are moving into an energy of peace. I also think for a lot of you, this breakthrough has to do with making peace with something in your past so that you can finally let it go. Like accepting what has happened in the past so that you're not dwelling in it anymore and it's not controlling you anymore. So for some of you, this could be like a heartbreak from the past that, you are going over the things that happened over and over in your head, thinking about what could have been. Maybe you are holding a grudge against someone. Maybe you are even holding some kind of grudge against yourself, thinking about your past mistakes. And if only I had done XYZ differently, maybe it wouldn't have turned out this way. You could be struggling to forgive yourself or someone else. This could also be talking about like traumatic events from the past, or fears, insecurities that you have been holding on to. And the way it's coming through, it's almost like for some of you, you maybe have held on to these things for so long that it's hard to imagine how you would be without holding these burdens. Like, who would I even be if I let go of this? Or what would my life even look like? And sometimes it's even that uncertainty that can cause us to hold on to that pain and suffering. Even if it is painful, I feel like our brains like familiarity and predictability. And with this last quarter moon phasing out, this is about to become a new moon. When you let go of your past, when you let go of this pain and suffering, you allow yourself to become this new clean slate. And so there could be a little bit of a fear or wariness of the unknown in there. It's like, this transformation is happening, but who am I going to become? Or what is my life going to look like when this is all over? But yeah, your breakthrough has to do with you making peace with what has been. And it's like the second you just accept it, the second you just make peace with it, it stops having such a strong hold on you. You are getting over something that has been weighing on you. Like, that this terrible thing happened to me, but I'm moving forward. Or I'm getting over this person. I'm not going to think about them anymore. Like, I'm not going to think about what they did to me or how things turned out. And even when those thoughts do pass by, I'm just going to let them go, like clouds floating through the sky. And with immense growth here, actually, it's so interesting. I'm pretty sure this is a vulture. And vultures eat dead things. And they often do give me a feeling. Well, actually, it depends on the context of the reading, but vultures can give me a feeling of like dwelling in the past, feeding on what has already gone, what is dead. And so maybe this is talking about a breakthrough of moving on from the past. And once you're able to do that, you'll experience exponential growth in your life. For some of you, this could also be like a certain approach that you were taking towards achieving a goal and making peace with like, okay, this is not going to work. Like, let's let go of this approach and let's try something else, or like, let's move on to the next goal. It's like, once you can accept what has happened and let go of it, your growth is going to multiply exponentially. Even with this being the number 15, like that's the number of the devil. And so there's really a feeling of you guys have been chained to the past or like held back by the past, and you are freeing yourself. This one, I mean, we already know that this is a breakthrough reading, so I don't really know how to interpret this in a way that's gonna like add something to the reading. But what I do want to do is read the passage from the guidebook for this card. I really like this guidebook. So number 15, yes, it is the vulture. It kind of looks like a turkey though, for some reason. So this is on page 32 and 33, just in case those are relevant numbers to you. So vulture comes to speak to us about the wisdom of the sacredness of suffering. In Buddhism, the first noble truth is that all life involves suffering. It is not something to be escaped, but to be accepted. Only when we accept this law of our existence are we able to transmute and grow from suffering. Vulture sustains her life by living off that which is dead. She does not interfere by bringing a quicker death to her prey. Instead, she allows it to endure what it must, and its suffering ends in natural time. This mirrors back to us the importance of patience. There is a profound lesson in the name, the turkey vulture. Cathartes aura, meaning golden purifier. They indeed purify the landscapes by removing decomposing carcasses that could spread disease and harmful bacteria. In the same way vulture cleanses the land, suffering purifies the heart from and removes the veils of ego. Suffering comes in two forms. Both are meant for growth. The first form is inflicted upon us and is out of our control. The second form is self-inflicted, created from the attachments and illusions of our ego. Whatever form your own suffering takes, you must first accept it. When we resist the pain, when we resist aspects of ourselves we do not like, when we resist rejection, we perpetuate self-inflicted suffering. It is only when we accept it that pain begins to do what it was meant to do, transform us. This is the genius alchemical property behind acceptance. It transmutes. Vulture's medicine asks you to understand that pain, suffering, and trauma hold an energetic power. It is your choice whether to allow that power to attack you or to transmute its energy into your greatest asset. If you choose the latter, within you, a hidden gift will be revealed far greater than all your pain. Wow. I love that message, and so cool that it mirrors many of the things that had already come up in your reading. I think it is important to make this distinction that the vulture doesn't interfere by bringing a quicker death to her prey. So this is not about ignoring your suffering or cutting off the flow of your emotions before you've had full time to process it. But I feel like this is rather about putting an end to something or moving on from something that is long overdue, because perhaps many of you've moved out of the stage of, processing that suffering that was inflicted upon you and that was out of your control, and now have maybe been stuck in the self-inflicted form of suffering where your own attachments, your own egoic attachments are just perpetuating those feelings and even that kind of victimhood over and over. And I feel like you're breaking free. You're breaking free from this cycle, but accepting it is the way that you break free from it. And I also I've really been feeling this recently. I think a lot of the times, like pain, grief, and these negative emotions, they can make us feel powerless and helpless. But if we allow them, like this passage talks about, they can push us to move into action. They can push us into becoming agents of change. They can push us into growing and transforming. And this is what your pain is asking you to do. Allow it to transmute you. I love that. The genius alchemical property behind this acceptance is that it will transmute you. So we're gonna roll a few dice as well. So there's all different kinds of dice in here. I'm just gonna pick 3. I just saw 1010, by the way, on the camera timer. So new beginnings and a blank slate with infinite possibility for you. 10 is also the number of the Wheel of Fortune. So it's like you're finally going to feel like there's movement in your life and that things are accelerating for you. We have Gemini. Whoop, that almost fell off the table. Let me try that again. We have Gemini. We have the planet of Mars. And we have the number 2. I do want to say that the period between Aries and Gemini season could be significant to this group. So that is roughly late March to late June. I know this reading is timeless, but like whenever that comes up next for you, or maybe even looking back in the past, that was a significant time for you. Also, people with Aries, Taurus, Gemini, or Scorpio placements could be significant to this group, whether that's you or someone else. But this breaking trail with the Mars energy, this could be talking about you guys becoming trailblazers or pioneers of some sort, and really establishing your career and establishing a stable financial situation for yourself because of this. I do feel like this group, you will find professional success either through like ideas, language, media, communications, your your intellect, your analysis of things, your commentary on things, your ability to dissect things, or your ability to solve problems, things that are cerebral in nature or things that have to do with communication and expression, which is kind of broad, but I feel like you can find professional success and financial stability through these endeavors. And especially with this pioneering nature, you will bring something that has not been done before. And that is why you will be successful. I also think that a lot of you will have multiple careers or multiple jobs or multiple streams of income. So this letting go of the past may very well propel you forward in your career. Yeah, so let's get into your tarot deck now that you have chosen, the Dream Vision Tarot. Whoop. Also, I do want to say part of this letting go could have to do with communicating something, or at the very least, putting things into language. So if there's like, you may have to say your piece to someone, regardless of how they respond, regardless if they apologize or not, whatever it might be, just for you being able to say what you want to say and get something off your chest to someone, that could be something very powerful that helps you to move on. Or at the very least, like I said, getting it into language. So even just telling a friend how you really feel about the situation, or even getting it into writing, naming your pain and expressing it rather than letting it stew inside of you, I think is very important. And that will also make it real. Like for those of you, some of you could feel ashamed of the pain that you felt, or feel like you are not allowed to have this pain, like, or you don't deserve to have the emotions that you have, or to grieve, feeling like you need to earn the right to feel a certain way about what happened to you, which is not true at all. But putting it into words will make it feel more real and will help you to validate it. Okay, my group number ones, their next breakthrough. We have the Two of Swords. Then we have the King of Swords and the Ace of Swords, okay, makes sense, that are coming out together. Then we have the Page of Wands, and I am making a mental note that after these cards, it started to take quite a long time for the cards to come out. And then I'm also going to take the bottom of the deck energy, which is Death. And I feel like that makes sense because you are definitely experiencing an ending and a release and being reborn. Okay, I do want to say Libra moon could be significant to some of you, and Scorpio energy as well. I love the Two of Swords followed by the Ace of Swords. This is a combo that I see sometimes, and it's a really beautiful and strong message about getting clarity and being sure of your choices. The Two of Swords, it can often talk about like we are on the fence about something, we are torn between two paths, we are struggling to make this decision. And even when just this card had come out, I was thinking that for my group number ones, there is a breakthrough involved with you gaining clarity about a certain decision that you have to make. Whether that's like, should I go this way or that way? Should I stay or should I go? Maybe there's even more than two options. I don't know. But if we've been like really debating over something and struggling to trust our judgment, that is all changing. And I feel like the fact that this Ace of Swords came out is just really further confirming that, because the Ace of Swords, it's all about like that aha moment, that mental clarity of like, yes, this is what I have to do. This is the decision I'm going to make, and I feel good about it. Like I know deep down in my heart that this is what I must do. So an epiphany is coming to you regarding like a decision that you have to make, or what the best course of action is to take. And I just feel like with this crown, it's like, well, first of all, it's victory over your challenges, but I think it's also indicating you feeling really proud of the decision that you've made and really confident in your choice. And the King of Swords, he is the most evolved of the Swords court cards. So this is your spiritual team confirming to you that you do have a very strong judgment, and you're very intelligent, and you know yourself, you know what's best for you. You have done an amazing job of analyzing this situation. Like if anyone can make the right choice here, it's you. And well, of course, because it's your life, but objectively, you have what it takes. You have the insight, the knowledge, the intelligence to make the right choice for yourself. This could also be hinting, because there's a lot of swords energy here, a little bit of fire too, but this will be a decision that you can correctly make with objective analysis. And maybe that is a hint for the choice that you have to make. With all of these swords here, it could be hinting that, you know, being in your feelings or being like emotionally reactive, that could kind of cloud your judgment. And looking at your situation as like an unbiased, objective outsider may help you to make the right decision. Of course, I don't want to like sway you or make the decision for you, but with overwhelming swords energy, like that is the King of Swords. He is emotionally detached. He objectively analyzes the situation and does what he knows is right and what is best for him, rather than maybe just like what he feels like doing in the moment. Like, and you know, looking at the big picture, I know objectively that this is what is right for me. That's his vibe. And with the Page of Wands here, you know, there is a little bit of like a going with your gut kind of thing, but yes, you will be receiving clarity about a decision that you need to make soon. And also, you know, swords do cut things. So for some of you, this decision could be related to like cutting something out of your life or to getting closure. Also, communicating to someone, getting something off your chest. Yes. And then after this is where we had the pause, like in the shuffling. After these cards came out, it's like, okay, you've gotten your clarity, you've made your decision. That is when the deck started to be really slow. So I feel like from the moment you make your choice to the moment you have like indisputable proof that you made the right choice, that could take some time. And so I think it's really important to stay firm in your conviction and to not let that passing time like weaken your resolve. So one example of this is like going back to this message about you being a pioneer and having multiple streams of income. Some of you guys maybe have made a decision to leave a certain job behind and start on a new career path that you're passionate about, that you probably are, because Page of Wands is here. And it's like you feel so strongly, yes, this is what I have to do. You feel confident about it, you feel excited about it, and you get to work on this new path. But from the moment you make that decision to the moment you start to actually see like irrefutable evidence, so to speak, in your 3D reality that this was the right choice. For example, you know, traffic coming to your work, substantial money coming in, recognition from those around you. It's like until you start to see that 3D proof to 2222 as I'm talking about this. So until that reality really starts to be reflected to you on the outside, that could take some time. Like intuitively, I feel like it could take a few months, less than 6 months though. But still, like when you're waiting to see results of something, that can feel like a long time, and that is a long enough time that you need a certain level of like consistency and willpower, and certainly that's enough time for those sneaky, like nasty doubts to start creeping in. Like, a little quiet around here. Are you sure you didn't make the wrong decision? Maybe this was a mistake. Like those sneaky little thoughts can start to creep back in. And so I think just knowing that it will take time to see results after you've made this choice, like it's really important to keep your resolve and keep reminding yourself like, yes, this was the right choice. I'm doing the right thing. Remember why you made this choice, I think is really important. Like remember your reason and remember how good it felt and how empowering it felt and how confident you were when you made this choice. Like hold on to that initial feeling, because you will triumph over the obstacles. And yeah, with the Page of Wands here, definitely this is talking about new beginnings. And even this feels like a rebirth, like going from a king back to a page. There's really a feeling of you guys starting on a new path. It's like you're ending a cycle that you have mastered from top to bottom, that you know like the back of your hand, that you've learned everything that path could possibly teach you. And now you're starting on a new path where you are like this beginner baby again. And it's exciting. It's exciting. Like this Page of Wands is like a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, childlike wonder having being who is so ready to learn and explore and try new things. Whereas this is like, yes, an expert, but it's like, oh man, I could do this with my eyes closed. Like it's the same thing day in and day out. I feel like your soul is ready for a new challenge and like a new unfamiliar environment where there's things to learn and to experiment with. And I feel like your soul is longing to get a little bit creative and go on a new adventure. And so this is what is happening for you guys. For some of you, this could be like the start of a new creative pursuit. It could be like traveling, going to a place you've never been before and exploring that area, starting a new career that does involve you like being creative. It could be like getting out and mingling and meeting new people after a long time of not doing that. But this feels like the spring season of your life. This feels like you being rejuvenated and refreshed and like ready to learn new things and take it all in. And I almost feel what's important for you guys to know with this Death card is that this is not about you like throwing away your old self. It's like you're actually doing all of this to honor your old self, because it's because of your old self and what the past you went through, what the past you endured, and what the past you learned, that you are now able to live this new life. It's weird. The way it's coming through is like some of you might feel that in some way, living this new life is like a betrayal to your past self, a betrayal to your past, or that your newfound joy is somehow a betrayal to your grief. And that is not the case at all. It's because your grief existed, that you were and that you felt it and you process it, that you were able to come out as this Page of Wands. It's kind of like oh, this is making me emotional, but it's like if a loved one passed away and then you promise to live your life to the fullest, like to honor them, you know, and it's not like a betrayal that, oh, I'm moving on and being happy without you, although it can feel like that. It's actually like to honor you and to honor your life. Like, I'm gonna make you proud, I'm gonna do my best, I'm gonna live my life to the fullest, and I'm gonna feel joy for the both of us, because I know that that's what you would have wanted, and what you do want as you watch over me. Oh, I'm a bit emotional. But yeah, like allowing yourself to explore a new life and enjoy your newfound happiness is very important. And it doesn't mean that your old self is dead and gone. Like, all of the versions of you exist within you and help you become who you are today. But I can definitely tell this group that your future is bright, and I do see you being like a pioneer, a trailblazer, a trendsetter, and very creative in this new chapter of your life. And maybe even like the way this Page of Wands is looking at the Death card, you know, taking from your past experiences to create things that are meaningful and moving, and that could help others get through whatever they are going through. Okay, so now we are going to look at some oracle cards for some last messages and advice. Wow. Your path may be bumpy, but this will alter soon. Tell me why I feel like crying when I look at this beach. It looks like freedom. It looks like, well, it's beautiful. It's like natural beauty, but it feels like a place where you would go to reflect about your life and honor loved ones in the past, present, and future. We have the Lion Spirit with the number 37. Be generous of spirit. This could also be Leo energy. And it is making me think of the Strength card as well. For everything that you've been through, rather than letting it harden you, it is making you softer. It is making you love deeper. It's like, for all of the pain that you have felt, you have the capacity to love the world more and to hold the world more. This could also be an indication of you being generous with your wealth, because the number 2 here, relating to the second house, it was making me think of your professional success and an improvement in your financial situation. And perhaps you'll find a lot of joy in sharing your wealth, serving others, giving to those in need. We have invoking self-realization. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. That's so interesting. Before I started filming this group, I just felt super compelled to I just sat here for a while and with your crystal, and I put my hands down and I just did some really good belly breaths, and I just sat there for a while and it felt so good. And I just lingered there. And I actually did that this morning too, which I should really get better at doing that more consistently, because it feels so good to just take that moment and appreciate that you're alive. It's beautiful. And I do feel like you're moving into a new phase of your life where you are less attached, especially less attached to worldly possessions. And you almost feel, it's like the more you let go of them, the more liberated you feel. And this could be tangible possessions, but also, materialistic values that society has. It's like the more you let go of those things, the freer you feel. You almost feel like they're holding you down, or that this pursuit of, let me drink some water so I stop clearing my throat a bunch. That chasing these things or coveting these things actually like holds you down or keeps you chained up in some way. So like letting go of materialism could also be like a breakthrough that you're experiencing, which also I think would lead to more generous acts. Like it's easier for you to freely give because you don't feel like, oh no, what if I go without this? Or you don't feel attached to material things in that way. Of course, I'm not suggesting that you overgive or that you deprive yourself, but I just think that giving and sharing will become something that you're able to do a lot more, like without worrying. And that could also just be because of the financial security that you're experiencing. But anyway, you feel connected to others, you're sharing your gifts, and it feels good. That is basically what I'm trying to say. And then for your final oracle card, we have intuition, feeling your way into and through your work, an internal understanding that not all useful things are seen or knowable. So I also think that many of you will be, it's very clear that you're doing some kind of creative work, but also that allows you to use your intuition. So something that is not so black and white or set in stone. And it's kind of like what we were talking about before. I feel like some of you are moving out of like a role that you used to fill that was very just like check the boxes, do steps 1, 2, and 3, and that's my job. That's my role. As long as I've checked these boxes, it's very like mechanical, step by step. And you could be now stepping into a path that has more like freedom of movement and doing things differently, so that it's not just like, oh, I read the list and copy it. I read the rule book and just do what it says. It's like, I have to feel my way through this. I have to like have my own original ideas and figure out what is best. So finally, we are going to get some tea leaf cards. Any last messages you need to know? What else do my group number ones need to know? Oop. Okay, we have Owl, good advice from a wise person. Owls could be significant spirit animals for this group. We have Heart, love, deep affection, and caring. That's so sweet. Good advice from a wise person who loves you and cares deeply about you. We have Pale, time to get out of a situation. That's very interesting because we had this like last quarter moon, something's phasing out of your life. We had the Swords where we talked about maybe cutting something off. We had Death. Like it's time to get out. And that also gives the feeling of something's kind of overdue, or like we could have left this situation and been okay quite some time ago. Maybe even this advice that you're receiving from someone you love is that like it is time to move on. I'm also hearing for some of you, something that's big confirmation for you could be when a person close to you like changes their mind or starts to give you different advice. So like someone who used to always say, I think you should hang on a little bit more. I think you should keep trying. But then as they continue to observe you, now when you talk to them, they're like, I don't know, maybe it's time to let go. And it's like, if that person now is saying that I should let go, then I should let go. Like if that person who was always telling me to keep going now sees the situation and is slowly starting to change their tune, maybe that's a sign that like objectively it's time for me to go. There could be something like that just serves as an extra confirmation to you. We have an astral house, which is success. Love to see it. We have dark woman, dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair, which could be this wise person, could be someone you work with as well. And then we have a month of the year, which is September. So this coming September could be the timing of your breakthrough, or someone born in September could be significant. Also, like seeds that you planted in September, like the past September, could be bearing fruit soon. But these are all the messages for my group number ones, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on the topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. And I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here. And I'm sending so much love to you, to everyone who appeared in this reading directly and indirectly. And I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number twos. So if you guys chose the Tangerine Quartz, this is going to be your reading all about the next breakthrough that is about to happen in your life. So we are going to start by taking a look at these oracle cards. My group number twos, we are starting off with finding. So your breakthrough has to do with you finding something. Maybe this could be very literal for some of you. Like if there is an item that you have lost or like something you've lost, you could be finding it. We have the 4th house and number 44 on the camera timer as I'm showing you this card. So for many of you, this feels like Goldilocks energy, like finding what is just right for you and settling into your little pocket in life. I think a lot of you are finding your home, finding your comfort, finding the place where you belong, whether that is in the physical sense, like finding your house, your living situation that is the best fit for you, geographically, finding the part of the world that feels the most like home to you, or socially, like finding your people. You are finding your home and your place of belonging. We have you are more, finding the place where you can really soar and where you can be your full self, where you don't have to tone it down, where you don't have to make yourself smaller because you are fully supported and fully celebrated. Also with a bird flying and butterflies flying as well, some of you could be like finding the place in the world where your soul feels like it belongs, and you could be relocating to there. I feel like that's just for some of you, but I did want to mention that. And then, wow. Okay, Spirit is speaking loud and clear today. Finding sanctuary, finding your home, opening to your spiritual source. Yeah, exactly. That is what this reading is about. I also think that a lot of you are experiencing a breakthrough in soul family union. So for some of you, this could look like meeting a new member of your soul family or meeting several new members of your soul family. It could also be that it is finally dawning on you that someone in your life is a member of your soul family and is playing a very important role or will play a very important role. I think many of you as well, you're moving into a new chapter of your life where I'm hearing it's like you can be unapologetically spiritual, and that your spirituality can kind of take the front and center in your life, if that makes sense. It's almost, maybe this is kind of a funny wording, but it's almost as if some of you, your spirituality is kind of like closeted. So you have your day-to-day life where you go to your job and you talk to your coworkers and you go hang out with your friends, and you don't really talk about your spiritual journey. And then it's when you go home and you're alone in your own company that you can then, talk to your spirit guides and carry out your spiritual practices. And I do think it's a very beautiful thing to kind of have that sacred time to yourself and, solitude to explore your inner world. That is a very beautiful and important thing. But I also think there is, I know there is a beautiful joy in sharing that with other people, welcoming, understanding, encouraging, and celebrating your spiritual side. So some of you are going through a breakthrough where now your spirituality can take center stage. Like, it doesn't have to be hidden or set aside because like, oh, it's not the time for it, or oh, they won't understand. It's kind of like you can be openly spiritual, and you can just openly be yourself, finding sanctuary in the 4th house. And I know I've probably said this like 7 times since starting this reading, but this is you being at home, being in your element. And there's also a level of intimacy with the 4th house because it is it's like the least visible part of the sky. Because this zodiac wheel is representing the sky. It's kind of like your innermost parts, your inner world. And that is getting to be seen, and that's getting to be shared. So you're obviously in an environment where you feel very comfortable and surrounded by people who make you feel very safe and comfortable. For any of you who are in like a turbulent living situation or just in a living situation that is not ideal for you, I do think you're moving out of that and you're moving into a peaceful situation. So let's read the passage in the guidebook. I believe that is an eagle. It certainly looks like one. Yes. Oh, it's Eagle Lightbringer, and it's on the pages 68 and 69 in case those are relevant numbers for you guys. 68 is my cat's birthday, Baffy. Anyway, Eagle flies high, able to soar at altitudes of up to 10,000 feet. His relationship is close to the sun, and he brings a message about the light you shine. When Eagle flies into your card reading, he speaks of your noble destiny. You are a light bringer, and you are created to shine in order to not only heal yourself, but also humanity. Just one thing that I need to say here. The 4th house is associated with the moon. The moon representing your inner world, your innermost emotions, and Cancer energy. So that part of you that is sometimes protected or concealed, whereas the sun is what is shown out into the world. It's what you express. It's what you are proud of. It's what emanates and radiates. And so I think there is a breakthrough here where you are getting more comfortable with shining your light, and certain things that you used to hide, you are not hiding anymore. So it could be something about your identity. Like we used your spirituality as an example before, or that wasn't an example. It was just something I picked up. Whatever. Let me gather my thoughts. It could be something about your identity that you once hid, such as your spirituality that we previously spoke about before, or some other aspect of your identity that you had once been ashamed of showing. It could even be like your talents, your gifts that you used to hide away because maybe you were uncomfortable with receiving attention, or you didn't want to attract criticism or jealousy or like expose yourself to that. But I think that in this breakthrough, you're saying, no, I'm not hiding anymore. You are going to see my light. You are going to behold my gifts. I'm going to be up here in the sky where everyone can see, shining bright like the sun. And I'm going to be freaking proud of who I am. Eagle says that being a light bringer is a lofty and honorable duty, but it does not come without carrying the weight of the world. Often as a light bringer, you have a deep relationship with pain, but this was necessary for you to be able to shine so within the darkness. You have the ability to feel on deep levels and cannot endure the suffering of the world and its creatures. Your cries for justice might often fall on deaf ears, but you are meant to endure your pain and transmute it into light so you can illuminate the world. Understand that you have a profound gift and your existence is a part of humanity's evolution to achieve its greatest potential, world peace. Your light heals, brings love, and dissolves suffering. Your light is who you are, and you must embrace your greatness and step into yourself to shine fully. You must do all the self-work to remove the veils of ego from your heart so you can fully be your highest self and allow the light of love to heal humanity. You must honor your body and take care of it. You must do the psychological work to deprogram all your toxic beliefs, and you must independently investigate your spiritual existence and your relationship with the great mystery. Please take this message with urgency and honor your gift. To receive Eagle is a privilege. His medicine asks you to respect your greatness. You are a servant of light. Beautiful. I'm also thinking about how like the 69, when you turn it on its side, it does very much look like the Cancer symbol, which is something I've noticed before. So just because like the 4th house is also related to Cancer, so Cancerian energy could be significant, or Cancer season, late June to late July. I also think that this is symbolic of your deeply sensitive soul, and also your desire to protect the world and nurture the world, which I know sounds compatible, but I feel like it's something that you can struggle with sometimes, where it's like you want to protect people, you want people to be comfortable, but sometimes to show love to the world and to protect the world, you have to make people uncomfortable by calling out BS. And so this group might often deal with this inner conflict of like, I see people's actions that are in disalignment with our collective goal of world peace, but I also don't want to like trouble this person, or I don't want to upset them, or I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to come across the wrong way. This breakthrough, I think, could also have to do with, you could be breaking free from a cycle of people pleasing or walking on eggshells out of like a fear that you're going to upset someone. And this is going to allow you to speak up for causes that need to be spoken up for. Really, the feeling is that you are not hiding and you feel safe to be yourself. You feel safe to be yourself, so you are coming out of hiding. I'm going to now, oh my gosh, 1111. As I say that, you are safe to be yourself, so you are coming out of hiding, and 1111 confirming that. I'm gonna take, okay. Oh my God, this just fell out of my dice bowl and it landed on the sun. So yes, you are shining. Cancer and Leo energy as well could be significant. And then we have the number 4, which is like the 4th house, another confirmation of that. There is a lot of attention being brought to your physical environment and to your home. Many of you could be moving home or redecorating your home, or there's going to be a shift, in the people that you're living with. So for example, you could go from living with people to living alone and like having your own sanctuary. You could go from living with family to living with friends or living with a significant other. And I also think that you have changed, and your environment should change to reflect that, so that you can feel more joy in your physical space. There may be a need to redecorate or to declutter within the limits of what you can do. I know you, like if you're renting a place, you probably can't do anything drastic, but even just putting up art with sticky tack, I think is what it's called, that doesn't damage the walls, or putting up like a tapestry, or changing the bed sheets, or putting flowers, or changing the lighting. There's things that you can do in your physical environment that will make you feel more at home and more comfortable and more like your space is a reflection of you. And I feel like that's really important after a day of being out and interacting with people and absorbing all kinds of energy, that you can come back to a place that is just like emanating your authentic energy and where you feel the most at ease. You know, deliberately creating your ease and creating your joy is important. Let's get one more. We have the sign of Gemini, which came out for group number 1 as well. This could also be a very specific astrological placement. Sun in Gemini in the 4th house. If you have that, let me know. Or if someone you know has that, let me know, because that's like super specific. And Gemini, Cancer, Leo, those are the signs that have presented themselves so far. And those are all consecutive signs. Like we go Gemini season and then Cancer season and then Leo season. So maybe this is like an important time for you guys, the end of May to the end of August. You could be going through some important transitions. But yeah, I don't want to be like a broken record and keep saying the same things, but the sun coming into the 4th house, it really is like illuminating your innermost parts. So another breakthrough that you could be going through is that you are sharing with a loved one something that you have never told anyone. For some of you, it could even be something like you thought you were going to take it to your grave, or something that you've been ashamed of, that you've been afraid to say, like, this happened, or this is how I feel, or this is who I am. Something that you kind of had kept secret. And it's so weird. Like my neck feels itchy while I'm talking about this. So that could be a manifestation of nerves. That could be like the throat chakra being activated. Yeah, and even like Gemini, that's about communicating. So I feel like that could be a message for a lot of you, and allowing not just anyone, let me be very clear, but allowing your soul family or allowing your close loved ones to step into your inner world and, you know, offer their 2 cents, like opening up the dialogue. You know, Gemini, it's like I just said, communication, but also there's 2, you know, Gemini is the twins, it's duality. So there is a feeling of a dialogue happening. And so, you know, when you open up to close ones about your most vulnerable stories or the innermost parts of yourself, it's kind of like inviting them to collaborate in this story of you. And that's such, damn, like I'm kind of like realizing it myself. It's such an act of love. Okay, so we're gonna get into the tarot that you guys chose now, the Soul Tarot, which is an absolutely beautiful deck. A Pisces rising could be significant as well. Okay, my group number 2s. What else does group number 2 need to know? Do they need to know any more details about what we've already spoken about? Or are there any other breakthroughs that group number 2 should know about? Can I just say I love the energy of this group? Okay, we have the Knight of Cups. That is so sweet. More opportunities for love, for connection, for deepening your bond with those around you. And even just this finding person, like hugging themselves. They look so loved and cherished and cared for. It's beautiful. You are definitely in your soft era. Soft but strong. Soft but not afraid to speak up and defend yourself. we have the Ten of Pentacles. I think a lot of you guys are healing from, I want to say from capitalism, but just healing from the urge to do more faster and to be more productive and to be more efficient. And that's going to relieve a lot of tension from you. I don't know if this is just me because I'm an Aries and I also have a Mercury moon. So I'm always, unless I like intentionally calm myself down, which I do think I'm getting better at doing, I will just be like rushing through everything and doing things with tension. So if you relate to that, this could be a message of you like learning how to slow down and not having that pressure of productivity always being like hanging over your head. You are reclaiming your time from society's money-making machine. You are reclaiming your time. It's almost like rest and self-care and pleasure as an act of rebellion to what the man would prefer you to do, which is make him more money. Reclaiming your attention as well. Like, you could be going through like a social media detox, because that can really drain your attention, right? But I just had this image of you doing something, like deliberately doing something the slow way and affirming like this is not a waste of time. Like, I'm deliberately doing this the slow way and I'm enjoying it. And of course that can look like so many different things. The thing that actually came to my mind's eye was some kind of craft or like something that you were doing manually, even though it would have been much easier and faster, like to use tools or to use technology. But you're like, no, I'm gonna do this by hand. Like, for example, I think when this video goes up, we'll be kind of out of the holiday season. But for example, instead of just like going to the store and buying a bunch of holiday cards, which nothing wrong with that, by the way, but deliberately choosing to like, no, I'm gonna hand make everybody's card, even though that's gonna take way longer. Like, I'm gonna hand make everybody's card, I'm gonna wrap the gifts myself, and then I'm gonna walk to the post office instead of driving, and I'm gonna enjoy my surroundings. It's like making a day out of activities that maybe before you just saw as like a task to get done as soon as possible, just an item on your to-do list, just like a mundane everyday errand. You're like, no, I'm gonna make a thing out of this and I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm gonna make an activity out of it, and I'm going to be present in it. There is a feeling with the Knight of Cups, like a pleasurable feeling of slowing down and enjoying the moment. And even like with the Ten of Pentacles, this is, yes, you are building your empire, but you are in no rush to do it. You are building it on your own terms. You are building it on your own time. Also, with these two cards together, it feels like secure, stable, long-term committed relationships, which you are definitely manifesting based even on this previous energy. And for some of you, this could be a breakthrough. Like if you have been manifesting a long-term committed partner, or if you've been manifesting friendships with trustworthy and supportive and loving people, meeting those people could be your breakthrough, or entering into those relationships could be a breakthrough as well. I also think for some of you who have family members who are, like, let's say you have a family member that is not so emotionally available. They could be having a breakthrough with you. Whether that's just who they are as a person, or it could be like their upbringing. It could be like the culture that they grew up in. Maybe they come from a culture that just isn't very like affectionate, doesn't really talk about feelings. And so it's been kind of hard to, like, for example, maybe it's really hard to have conversations about mental health with this family member, or to just be open about how you feel about each other and be, you know, like outwardly show acts of love for each other and say, I love you, and hug them and kiss them. Like, they might not be into all that. You could be having a breakthrough with them where they're showing vulnerability, they're showing affection, or like they're validating something that you've gone through, where before they would have just been like, oh, like you're just complaining, or, you know, like they're actually validating what you're saying now. So yeah, breakthrough with a family member could definitely be on the horizon for this group too. Oh, and it's coming through like you're proud of them. And that's, honestly, that's so beautiful. Like, rather than being upset or frustrated, it's like, we're proud of your progress. Very specific message coming through. I really only think this is for a few of you, but it's coming through that you are going to have your own exhibition. You're gonna hold an exhibition. People will come to see your work, and it will be successful. What else do my group number 2s need to know? Oh, the 6 of Cups. Yeah, soul family, soul family, soul family. Yes, absolutely. Scorpio energy is coming through here. The sun in Scorpio. Also, this is Mercury in Virgo, I think. Yeah, so like a Leo sun with Mercury in Virgo could also be significant. Yep. I really risk sounding like a broken record with this, because the 6 of Cups, it's like where you feel familiarity, where you feel at home. And we've been speaking a lot about you manifesting your soul family. And, you know, with the 6 of Cups, it does give the feeling of a past life connection. It gives the feeling of meeting someone in this lifetime and being like, holy crap, I feel like I've known you for a million years. Are you sure that I have not met you somewhere? There's just like that instant recognition and deep familiarity. There could also be a breakthrough coming to you that has to do with trusting your intuition. So where before you may have received that intuitive hit, and then your ego's first instinct is like to go in and try to question it and go in and try to invalidate it. I think you're having a breakthrough where now when that intuition hits, it's really like, I feel it in, I guess in my root chakra, because it's lower than my womb. It's lower than that. It's like this heavy, it sinks into my most core. That was not a sentence, but it's like you feel it in the deepest part of yourself, and it's very solid. And you're like, nope, I received this intuitive hit, and so it is. It's like you can physically feel it. When you receive a download, it's like this unmistakable physical sensation. And that's actually been something I've been realizing more and more, because I've been working and like being more in my body. Highly recommend. And you really do, or I mean, let me not speak for everyone, but I really do feel these sensations like, yes, I can confirm what you're saying. I resonate with what you're saying, and I feel it in this part of my body, and it's this sensation. Like, your body is so wise, and it talks to you. It talks to you all the time. And there is some breakthrough with your intuition of, rather than being in your head and like jumping to question the wisdom of your intuition, you're like right there with it. And you're like, yes, I know what you're saying is true. Thank you for giving me that message. And now let me use my mind to explore this truth rather than to like invalidate it. Okay, let's get one more card. One last card for my group number 2s. Woo! We have the 5 of Cups, Scorpio energy again. Yeah, when I was talking about being in your body and how it's nice, I did have this little thought of it may not be the most pleasant experience initially for some, especially if you have some pain or sadness that is stored somewhere in your body. Being disembodied could actually be a way of, dissociating from that, of avoiding that. So when you come back into your body, it could initially be like, oh, this hurts. This feels painful because there's things that we have to deal with now. The example that's coming to my mind is, and this is not a perfect analogy, by the way, but the example is that like maybe you have a messy house and the mess represents these emotions to be dealt with that are maybe not so pleasant. And this person has left their house because they're like, I don't want to see the mess. I don't want to go home because when I go home, I'm going to have to deal with this. And so, yes, there's no place like home, and being at home feels great. But when you initially come back to your home, there will be some things to deal with. There will be some things to clean up. And so, the 5 of Cups, it can talk about these negative emotions, sadness, heartbreak, grief, the pain of loss, the pain of rejection, the pain of, this could even be like the pain of neglect that your body or your soul is not upset, of course. No, it is not. But just that feeling of, oh, I missed you. I feel sometimes like, this is going to sound weird, but sometimes I feel like my house misses me. When I leave for a long time, I feel like houses like people to be in them, and your body likes you to be in it. And so when you're like up in your head, or when you're avoiding processing the emotions or the energies that exist in your body, maybe your body feels a little lonely and wants you to come back. 3113, as I'm talking about that, a mirroring number, 3113. So yeah, it might be a little bit, there might be some things to deal with at first when you come back into your body, but this is where you'll feel the most at home, because it is your home for the few decades that you are on this planet. Yeah, so let's look at some more oracle cards for further messages and guidance. You are your purpose. Beautiful. By the way, number 25, a little personal thing for me, is soulmate union and soul family union. So another confirmation of that. This is a beautiful image, by the way. This is one of my favorite decks because the captions, the phrases on them are just so simple yet so powerful. And the artwork is beautiful too. That's your guardian angel. We also have the parrot spirit. Watch your words. And there's another flying bird. And I love that the bird is wearing a crown. Watch your words. Definitely pay attention to, because there's a lot of messages about communication in this group. Pay attention to your delivery and the stories that you create or the stories that you perpetuate about yourself. the stories that you have created about yourself, or the stories that someone else has projected onto you, and now you have internalized that and you may be unknowingly perpetuating it. Because the parrot just copies whatever it's told. And I do think that parrots do sometimes know the meaning of what they're saying. Like, my stepmom has a parrot, and I swear sometimes she knows what she's saying. Like, she knows what you're saying to her. But I think that maybe there's just some sounds that we learn and we mimic them. And there could be stories that you've heard about yourself and you just repeat them without really thinking about the meaning of them. Like, what does this mean for my self-image if I continue to tell this story and don't question it? We have allowing appreciation. The value of my life increases each time I appreciate everything in it. Beautiful message. So the value of your life coming from your own gratitude and your own joy, rather than external things, rather than material gain, rather than your status. And then we have seeker. Be curious, not afraid. You are here to evolve. And we are going to finish off the reading with some tea leaf cards. Any other little tidbits that you need to know? Oh, you know what the other thing I wanted to say was about the parrot? And I think it's actually, this deck has a parrot in it. And there's something about like people talking about you or people talking behind your back. And one thing that can definitely be scary when it comes to shining your light more and making yourself more visible is this fear of like what people will say, whether that's criticism that you'll receive, or maybe people are saying something behind my back. And I know that this is very much easier said than done, but I think your spiritual team wants to remind you that you really don't have to pay attention to any of that stuff, as long as you are happy with what you're doing and your immediate circle, like your loved ones, your support system. If you have a good relationship, then you're good. And I think the more strongly you build that foundation with your closest ones, the less all of that outside noise will matter. And that's speaking from experience. We have fan, romance, celebration, party. Interesting. Sometimes the Knight of Cups makes me think of that as well. Probably because of a deck I have that associates it with those things. If you do receive an invite to a party, to an event in the near future, that could be a place where you are meeting soul family members, or that could be a place where you are really feeling in your element. Also, if I take this literally, you could be gaining some fans as you are becoming more visible, as you are showing off yourself and perhaps your work. You could be gaining some fans or admirers. And actually, back on the note of people talking about you behind your back, let me tell you that it is overwhelmingly positive. And in fact, this group, you probably have a lot of secret admirers, like people who really essentially want to be more like you or want to do life in a similar way that you are doing it and just think you are so cool, but maybe they either feel too shy to tell you, or they might feel like, oh, you already get so many comments like this. You already get so many people telling you this. I'm sure you already know how amazing you are. Or they may even think just like you're too busy to respond, but you have secret admirers. We have Apple. Temptation will test you. What is that about? We have changes in your life. So I think, first of all, you should remember that change is not linear. And if you, like, whether you are breaking a cycle, breaking a habit, starting a new healthy habit, healing, those journeys are not linear, and you will sometimes fall backwards, and that's okay. Everybody does that. I don't say that to question like your drive or your willpower. Sometimes life happens. The example that just came to my mind is a person who is trying to, let's say they're trying to exercise more, and then they get hit with some devastating news, or they enter into a period of depression and they're battling with that and they stop exercising. Like things like this happen. Life happens, and life is unpredictable sometimes. Or, sometimes it is just hard to deprogram yourself, to deprogram your brain and reprogram it with the new patterns that serve you. And I'm just going back to, and all of this to say that it is no use to beat yourself up. Like, this passage had a lot of, it was a tall order. Your existence is part of humanity's evolution to achieve its greatest potential, world peace. You must do all the self-work to remove the veils of ego from your heart so you can fully be your highest self and allow the light of love to heal humanity. You must honor your body and take care of it. You must do the psychological work to deprogram all your toxic beliefs, and you must independently investigate your spiritual existence and your relationship with the great mystery. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. It's a lot of work, and to expect yourself to do it perfectly or expect yourself to always do it in a linear fashion is not fair. Like, change doesn't happen like this. Sometimes it happens like this, and sometimes it happens like this, and such is the nature of life. And you might be tempted to fall back into old ways sometimes. And even using myself as an example, as someone who does exercise, there is a lot of times where I feel tempted to be like, especially now that it's winter, and I'll get all snuggly with my dog and just be like, oh, like, it's so warm and cuddly in bed, I'm so comfy, like maybe I'll just skip the workout today, I'm feeling kind of sleepy, I'll just stay here. And you do get tempted to lose momentum. And more often than not, if I just get up and go anyway, I'll have like one of my best workouts. It's sneaky thing, that brain. By the way, rest and getting cozy is very, very important, and you should never force yourself to do things, but I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in your willpower to keep going. And I also believe in your ability to discern if it's time to slow down, if it's time to take a break. And you should believe in yourself too. Okay, let's get one more for my group number 2s, or however many would like to fall out. There could be changes in your hormones that are happening as well that you should be aware of. Like, if you've noticed a change in your mood or a change in your energy level, before judging yourself, it may be something like hormonal or something related to your physical environment. Like cards that want to fall out, but they're not coming out yet. Oh, okay. Our last card. Oh, wow. Pay attention to your health as we're talking about exercise and hormones and things like that. If you are able to do this and you feel comfortable doing this, it may be time for like a physical, what do you call it? A health checkup, a doctor's checkup. You know the one. The regular physical examination, or there may be certain tests that you might want to take. Again, I'm saying that like if you can and you feel comfortable, because I know that these things can cost money, and things, especially things like blood work and tests, they can cost quite a pretty penny. But this could be a confirmation for some of you that it is time to go through one of those tests or like routine checkups. Just pay attention to how you feel as well. If you feel called to do this, it might be good to like monitor your energy levels and your like mental clarity day to day, your moods, things like that, because maybe there's a correlation between like how many hours you slept, or what time you went to bed, or what you ate, or if you have a cycle, like where you're at in your cycle. It's like your health or your energy levels and things like that. They may feel unpredictable and they may feel out of your control, but perhaps your spiritual team is suggesting that if you observe and pay attention to your fluctuations, you might notice a pattern. Like, oh, every time I can't sleep, it's when I drank coffee past 4 p.m. or something like that. And there could just be little things that you can change. It's not like completely out of your control. But yeah, those are all of the messages that I have for my group number 2. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to link down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick-a-card readings just like this one. And you can also decide on topics for future videos. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate you being here, and I'm sending you so much love to you, to everyone who appeared in this reading, directly or indirectly, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 3s. So if you guys chose the zebra calcite, this is going to be your reading all about the next breakthrough that is about to happen in your life. We're going to start off with these oracle cards that I have laid out here. And your first card is protection. Then we have Virgo. Keep trying. And miracles. 44, as I'm showing you guys this card. And we also had the number 4 on this keep trying card. So repeating 4s could be a significant angel number for this group. And we have the message, expect the wondrous to emerge. Wow. So for a lot of you, this breakthrough is going to feel like a miracle. It's going to feel like something that, okay. So for this group, the breakthrough that is coming to you is relating to something that you have tried many times and haven't been successful. I don't want to say you failed, because if you're still trying, if you're still showing up, then you have not failed. But there's a feeling of like multiple unsuccessful attempts. Like, I tried this and it didn't work. I tried this and it didn't work. And after that happens a few times, it does affect your subconscious, and you start to think, okay, maybe this is just something that I'm not going to achieve. Maybe manifesting this is just not in the cards for me. I feel like this is something that part of you believes you cannot do, or that you cannot experience, or that you cannot achieve or have. So it kind of feels like the impossible becoming possible. Some of you maybe have even like given up on this. It feels like it's a success. You are finally having a successful attempt at something after many times of it not working. With Virgo here, and by the way, this person is just like radiating Virgo energy as well. A Virgo person, someone with Virgo placements, could be significant to this situation, whether that's you or someone else, especially a Virgo moon. It could also be that Virgo season is important, which is late August to late September. But Virgo is ruled by the planet of Mercury, and it has the traits of being analytical, being a problem solver, being able to, and even like the Hermit being associated with Virgo energy in the tarot, it's being able to find the root of an issue so that you can fix it. And so what this leads me to believe in the context of this reading is that the difference between this time when you try versus all the other times before is that you have some knowledge or some information that you didn't previously have. And so this time when you try, it's like more intentional. There's more of a sense of, I know what didn't work last time. And I know what is going to be different so that it does work this time. And I know what I'm doing. There is a feeling of being more like deliberate rather than just taking a shot in the dark and being like, oh, I hope that this works. So there could be like a moment of revelation where you realize why it didn't work in the past, and realizing that it's not just like, oh, I had bad luck or the universe was against me. It's actually something that you can pinpoint and fix so that you have a different result this time. I also think for some of you, maybe you're familiar with the stereotype of like Virgo being a perfectionist. Perfectionism could also be something that was getting in the way in your previous tries. You were perhaps like paralyzed by, I can't get this wrong, I can't make a mistake. And then it maybe stopped you from trying different approaches that could have bared results. Like maybe you were afraid of making a mistake, or you were afraid of looking dumb, or you were afraid of not getting it perfect. And then that fear kind of backfired. I can kind of use myself as an example. Bear with me, I'm not sure how well this is going to translate, but I've been practicing, like I make songs and I've been practicing mixing my own songs recently. And that was something that, it is tricky, but it was always something that I felt like insecure about and felt like, oh my gosh, it's too hard, it's too overwhelming, there's no way that I'm ever going to be able to do it. And for a long time, it did really feel like taking a shot in the dark. And it was so frustrating because it's like, I know the result I want to achieve, but I don't know like mechanically the specific thing to do to achieve that sound. I know in my head what I want it to sound like, but when it comes to the actual steps, it really just feels like I'm randomly like throwing stuff at it and seeing what sticks. And then sometimes I try something and it makes it worse. And it just felt very like I was in the dark. And recently, now that I've been educating myself more and gaining new information, I mean, obviously I still have a really long way to go, but I find now I can pinpoint like, oh, I don't like the sound of that because there's too much of this frequency, or I need to put this effect on it. I need to use this plugin and like to strike the balance. It's becoming more of like input and output is more predictable rather than like, I hope this works. And then if it doesn't, being like, I guess I was unlucky. It's becoming more of this, like your situation is becoming more of this like mechanical thing where you can be like, oh, this is the problem. I need to go in and do this and I can fix it. And you're gaining some knowledge or some information or some education that you previously didn't have, that is now the next time when you go to try this, it's going to make everything different. And you're going to realize a little bit like how dramatic your ego is being. And I say that with love, because I feel like there was a part of you that was maybe really getting down on yourself. Like, I'm just not meant to achieve this. I'm just not meant to be successful in this. I'm just not meant to manifest this. Like the universe is blocking me. And it ultimately seemed to be a logical fix that like you just needed to be enlightened about it. You just needed the knowledge. And so that's what is coming to you so that you can have a different experience this time. So, oh, and also I want to say, this goal is secured for you. Like you have the number 4, the repeating 4s showed up, protection showed up. You are safe. Like you can't mess this up. And I feel like the fear of messing things up has also kind of gotten in the way. So yeah, I want to read the passage of this starfish card from the guidebook. This is the Animal Apothecary deck. Oh, here it is. Keep trying, starfish. And it's on page 10 and 11 in case these are relevant numbers for you. Dates like October 4th, November 4th, April 10th, April 11th could be significant. The medicine of this card speaks of wishes being granted, but also the understanding that you have to try again and again to receive what you desire. The process of trial and error will lead you to fulfillment. Exactly. There is a story of a young maiden who prayed and prayed to the stars to heal her so she could fully serve her purpose. She tried everything but failed to ever feel whole. One day, the young maiden received a starfish from the stars. She thought to herself, "This must be what will heal me." The young maiden inspected the starfish, sang to the starfish, and danced with the starfish in hopes that it would heal her, but nothing happened. As a last resort, she took a small bite of the starfish's arm. Still, nothing happened. The young maiden cried out to the stars and cursed them for her inability to be healed. She fell to her knees and begrudgingly threw the starfish into the pond before her. As she wept in despair, her gaze fell upon the starfish subtly moving in the waters. As she watched it regrow the arm she had taken a bite of, the medicine of the starfish was revealed to her. It was at this very moment she had a deep expansion of consciousness. By witnessing the starfish regenerate, she understood the message from the stars. She could heal herself. The ability to do this was not outside of herself, it was always within. This was when the young maiden began to heal. Whether you are healing, manifesting, or creating a meaningful relationship, starfish's medicine is to keep trying. Understand that all you deem to be failures lead you closer to the right action. Yes, if the young maiden didn't take multiple approaches, she would have never been led to the answer that lies within. I also want to say, for any of you who are feeling like left out by the universe or abandoned by your spiritual team because something hasn't worked out for you, I think the reason for that could be, this very thing, that the power for you to make it happen yourself was in you all along. And if your spiritual team were to bring this to you through some kind of divine intervention, you would not have had that blessing. And yes, it is a blessing of trial and error, of gaining that knowledge, of gaining that muscle memory, of gaining that skill, that ability to analyze and gain your own insights. And also the pleasure, like the joy that it is to bring about your desired outcome by yourself. If the universe were just to snap their fingers and have your wish right in front of you, it would rob you of that entire experience. And then the next time you want to make a wish come true, you will have to rely on something outside of you again. It's almost like this is showing you the way to do it yourself, to be self-sufficient, to be your own magician. And you can. And I feel like for a lot of you, it's like the solution could be easier than you think, or it's like right in front of you. It's just some approach that needs to be taken differently. Yeah. So let's roll some dice now. I'm just going to pull 3 dice from this bowl. Okay, that's 3. We have the number 9, so that relates to the 9th house. We have Uranus and the moon. Okay, when I saw Uranus with the 9th house, what it made me think of right away is like an unexpected or like a very significant shift in your belief system or in your worldview. The moon as well also feels like change, because like the phases of the moon change very quickly. Funny that these 2 moons are the the same shape. They're waning. They're almost a new moon. It could be a sign that the next chapter of your life is like imminent, because it would only be a few days until this is a new moon, until this is a new beginning. Yeah, the Uranus energy, it's like sudden, it's erratic, it brings like sudden clarity, sudden change, sudden epiphanies. And so I do think you're having like a big change in your beliefs. And more specifically, I feel like limiting beliefs are suddenly being uprooted. It feels like something that is happening quickly, and perhaps the achievement of this goal is like a big catalyst for that. This success removes a bunch of limiting beliefs, and you maybe start to question your, like, what your thought patterns and what your emotions were telling you about what is or isn't possible for you. I feel like your mind is just being like blown open, and now you see all of the possibilities of what you can achieve. And I also think there could be a big shift from feeling like you're just at the universe's mercy, and whatever the universe decides you can have, that's what you will manifest. And now feeling like more in control of your destiny. Wow. Oop. I just accidentally knocked this dice, and now it's number 5, which is the house of like pleasure, leisure, fun. I feel like life is about to get a lot more fun for you now that you are reclaiming your manifestation abilities. So let's get into your tarot now. Also, this may just be for a few of you, but I was just thinking this does look a bit like pregnancy, the way she's holding like the round earth on her belly. And the 5th house can talk about children. The moon can talk about like mother or like the womb. So that could be a message for some of you of like the conception or birth of a child. We spoke about Virgo moons could be significant. Also, Earth risings, like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn risings could be significant. What else do my group number 3s need to know? Are there any other details about these energies that they should know about? Or are there any other breakthroughs that they should know about? We have the 7 of Swords. So I want to say some BS is being exposed to you. Definitely the BS of your limiting beliefs is being exposed to you. We know that for sure. Funny, this is Moon in Aquarius, and this is like Moon and Uranus. We have the 7 of Pentacles. That's also really beautiful, because that's like after a long time of waiting, or after a period of stagnation, your work is paying off. You can finally see like the seeds that you planted are bearing fruit. You are finally seeing results to something that you've worked very hard at, and you're definitely proving your inner critic wrong. And you could be proving some other people wrong by reaching this success. But definitely that, you know, that inner voice that tells you it's not gonna happen, just give up already, you're being delusional, like you are proving that part of you wrong. We have the Five of Swords, which is like opposition, conflict. I feel like, yeah, a lot of you in this group maybe were facing that from the outside as well. Like, there could have been other people who, people who either believed that you couldn't do it or were like betting on or hoping that you couldn't do it because that might like threaten them. With the Seven of Swords, this can talk about like shady behavior, or I've also seen it as just someone or something that gives you bad vibes. You know, when you just get a gut feeling like I don't really fuck with this person. I don't really get good vibes from them. And I felt like almost my throat was closing up when I said that. So it may be something that you've held your tongue about, whether that's just like your non-confrontational nature, you don't want to ruffle any feathers, or it could be that like a lot of people around you like this person. Like I'm imagining, for example, like there's this coworker that you always got a bad vibe from, but all your other coworkers love them. And you're thinking like, oh, they're falling for it. Like they don't see that this person is full of shit. Or it could be someone who like you have to see every day, or someone you're close to. There could be multiple reasons, but it feels like you kind of held your tongue about this. Or it could even just be like, you don't have proof. You don't have proof that they're doing something shady. It's just a vibe. So it's like, how can I really talk about this in a meaningful way to people? Yeah, like you've been silent about it. But with time, because I'm hearing like the proof is in the pudding, and like the truth will always come out in the end. You are being proven right about something that nobody else believed. Okay, this is gonna get to be like a kind of specific message, I think, because I'm seeing you surrounded by a bunch of people. You believe one thing and everybody else believes something else, and everyone else like thinks you're wrong or thinks you're crazy, or you just have to like stay quiet about it. And then with time, it slowly becomes revealed that you were right. And so maybe like, I think that coworker thing was just one example, but like, imagine maybe one day you spoke up and you're like, I don't know about Jeff. No offense if your name is Jeff, by the way, just hypothetical. Like, I don't know about Jeff. Like, I just get bad vibes from him. And then everyone's like, oh my God, what are you talking about? And then you feel bad. You're like, okay, maybe I'm being judgmental. I don't know. So then from that day on, you just stay quiet about Jeff. The bad vibes continue, but everyone seems to love Jeff. So maybe I'm wrong. And then lo and behold, like 2 years later, the truth comes out that Jeff is a shitty person and you were right this whole time. So, you know, something I often feel with the Five of Swords is like a nagging feeling, because it can also show disalignment. It's like this nagging feeling that something wasn't right. And I think with this Seven of Pentacles, you know, this is earth, so it's like tangible evidence in your physical reality, but it takes time. The Seven of Pentacles takes time to be revealed. So, you know, as more time goes by, you are like confirmed for feeling this way. And as more time goes by, I think the breakthrough is, first of all, the truth coming out and you being proven right, but also this release of like any feelings of guilt or second guessing yourself. I even think this Uranus in the 9th house, that change of your belief system, is like snapping out of this, like, I gotta stop doubting myself. And maybe this is a strong word, but like I have to stop gaslighting myself when I feel like something is wrong. Just being like, oh, I'm overreacting, I'm sure I'm wrong about this. Like, I gotta stop doing that. And like, you're being proven right about some bullshit that you picked up on from miles away a long time ago. And it's almost like this last straw of like, I'm not gonna doubt myself anymore, and I'm gonna speak up when I smell some bullshit. That's empowering. Okay, we're gonna get one last, ooh, okay. We have the Two of Swords. And I also wanna, I've been meaning to use the bottom of the deck, but I think I forgot for group number 2. So we'll use it for you guys. We have the Two of Swords clarified by the Six of Pentacles. Lots of like moon energy, like with the moon here. This is an Aquarius moon, this is a Libra moon, this is a Taurus moon. And there's also a lot of like earth and air. Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Lots of earth and air business going on. Maybe that's a confirmation for some of you, but I just thought I would mention that. So the Two of Swords came out for another group as well. It could be a similar message, because I do think that there's a lot of messages about this group receiving mental clarity and you being sure of yourself. For those of you, some of you need this confirmation that you are in a situation where your energy is not being reciprocated, and that you will no longer accept this kind of one-sided dynamic, or this kind of, it could be like disrespect, a lack of acknowledgement, a lack of recognition. You're like, I'm not going to accept this kind of one-sided dynamics anymore. And that could also be something that maybe you've been ignoring your gut feeling about, where because of some kind of emotions or sentimental attachment, like where you're maybe in a connection with someone who is really not reciprocating to you, and like deep down you know that this doesn't feel right, because energy doesn't lie. Like the energy does not feel balanced. You don't feel like held by this person or cared for, or like feel energy poured into you from this person. But then there's maybe like a part of you that is attached to them, or you just really like them, or there's something from the past with them that you're holding on to, or some hypothetical in the future with them that you're holding on to. And it's making you dismiss your own concerns and being like, oh no, it's fine. Maybe I'm just being too harsh on them. Maybe I need to be more understanding. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe I'm being too sensitive. And there's like this invalidation of your own concerns to like not admit that something is wrong. And I think one of your breakthroughs is getting out of this cycle. And from what it looks like here, it looks like a lot of you have been stuck on a decision between like choosing a one-sided partnership or choosing yourself. And one of your breakthroughs is like finally choosing yourself and choosing that I'm either going to be in healthy, supportive, reciprocated partnerships, or I'm going to be on my own. Because like I'm not going to be disrespected like this, or I'm just not going to accept this treatment anymore. It's kind of the vibe. I also want to confirm to this group that any decisions that you make about your career or your finances, how you make money, you will make the right choice. I do see a beneficial partnership coming in for you with this Six of Pentacles. A dynamic where they can help you as much as you can help them. You can come together with your strengths, with your talents, with your experience, and you can build something beautiful together. And the first thing that did come to my mind was like a work relationship or some kind of collaboration, but it could definitely be a personal relationship as well. I think the main takeaway of it is that you feel fulfilled, you feel secure, you feel like this person is predictable. I know that like if they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. I can count on them to continue to give me their energy, time, support, love, and not like suddenly withhold it from me and not be hot and cold. Like I can rely on them to be there, and we can have like a beautiful and balanced exchange together. That's the most important thing. So that's a new partnership that is coming in for you. There may be someone coming in who is either like not the usual type that you go for, but somehow it works. Or for those of you who are into astrology, there could be someone coming in that when you look at your birth charts, like it doesn't look compatible on paper, which astrological compatibility I would take with a grain of salt anyways. But like, even if it looks like you wouldn't be compatible, it actually just really works. Okay, so now we're gonna look at some more oracle cards to get additional messages and guidance for you. Wow, really driving that message home. Endurance is the key to success, which is very similar to our keep trying message. Then we have the coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. Yes, it's really important to know that even if you are unsuccessful, so to speak, in an attempt, it doesn't mean that it's a failure, and it doesn't mean that it was a waste of time, and it doesn't mean that something went wrong. I think this card just really wants you to know that even if things aren't going in the way that you expected or in the way that your ego felt it was supposed to, that doesn't mean that something has gone wrong. Which, you know, we say this a lot, but I think it's something that we kind of have to practice and constantly remind ourselves of. And it does get easier. It really does get easier. Welcoming surrender. Yeah, exactly. Trust in divine detours. Welcoming surrender. Yeah. There is no problem, only destiny being revealed. And then we have seasons. Creative seasons. Creative expression has its seasons. Winter may seem like a void, but there is no endless summer. Recover, hibernate, prepare. Spring thaws you out. If you guys have been feeling like slow or stagnant or low energy, you could be in this winter season, which is not good or bad. It's just a season of life like all the other ones. And winter is a season of preparing, of recharging, planning for the next cycle of seasons. And so I really do think that your spring season or your season of breakthrough is coming up. And this is a message from your spiritual team. If you are in this winter season right now where things are more still and it feels like not much is happening, to embrace this energy, to not feel like it's some like failing on your part, because it's not, it's just a season passing through. Like this card says, there's no such thing as an endless summer, and to expect yourself to always be in your thriving season, in your active season, in your growing season is just not, it's not realistic and it's not fair to you. And the winter season is very important to regather your strength, to recharge, to reflect on like the year that just passed and think about what you want to do in the next year. So you are preparing. You're in this energy of preparing. And it's also, I think it's not something that you need to so consciously think about, like, what can I do to prepare? I think that you will intuitively take the necessary steps to prepare for the next cycle of seasons. So finally, we're going to get some tea leaf cards, however many want to come out for you. Any last messages for my group number 3s with regards to their upcoming breakthroughs? Or really anything that you would like to talk about. Group number 3's spiritual team. What else would you like group number 3 to know right now? The current era for you is the era of meeting your needs without judgment. Especially physical needs like hunger, sleep. We have mice, discord among friends or family. So that there's that confirmation of maybe thinking a little bit differently than the people around you. You may be a little bit like, you may feel a little bit like a black sheep in your family or at work or at school. And the message that is coming through, this is from your spirit guide, and I actually picture like a male spirit guide who's kind of feels a little bit far behind me because he's giving you space. And to my right side, like tan, darkish skin. Wow, I don't really usually get, clear visuals like this. And his eyes are kind of like far back in his head. I don't even, like kind of sunken or like placed kind of far back. And he's saying like, if you think differently from everyone around you, you're doing something right. And I'm not saying this as like a be all end all rule, but that's what the guide is saying. Like, if you are thinking differently from those people that you are around, you are doing something right. So maybe the spirit guide doesn't really agree with the status quo that you are currently living in. There's almost this feeling of like there could be a lot of people around you who just don't think critically or don't form their own opinions because it's like too much effort. And I feel like the active brain is a blessing and a curse. It's like you have the ability to think critically about things and to analyze things from a bunch of different angles. But then like the downside to that is that you could, get worked up about scenarios that aren't even real because you're thinking about all like the hypotheticals, and you could get in loops of overthinking. It's a blessing and a curse. I did this like brain assessment quiz. It's actually kind of cool. There's like this doctor who has scanned like thousands and thousands of people's brains, like 160,000, I think it is, and counting. And they've discovered that like in general, there's more or less 16 types of brains, like based on your brain activity. And you can take this quiz to find out what your brain type is. And when I got my results, it was all like, you have high activity in this part of your brain. You have high activity in this part of your brain. And I'm like, can my brain chill, please? Like, there's too much activities going on in there. Is brainhealthassessment.com, I think, by the way, if you're interested in taking it. But yeah, too much activity, not very pleasant. Leads to like anxiety and mood issues and things like that. We have dog close up, pleasure with a close friend. Interesting. Discord among friends or family, but pleasure with a close friend. So it's when you're willing to, it's when you refuse to assimilate to energies that you don't agree with or energies that you don't resonate with, that you can find your true friends, that you can find the worthwhile friendships that bring you true joy. Because fitting in is not true joy. It's just temporary comfort. And is it even really comfortable at the end of the day? Not really, because you feel that disconnect inside of you the whole time. The spirit guide is still talking. I don't mean that in a rude way, like, oh, you're still talking, but just that this is still coming from that spirit guide. Okay, we have, he kind of has the energy, it's like a dad who is not like sappy or emotional and is kind of dry in his way of talking, like kind of dry and serious. but you can still feel the love oozing through, like energetically, in that sarcasm, in that kind of like flat, dry comment. You can feel the love in there. We have Rabbit and Ram, a stubborn, aggressive person, too much concerned with sexual matters. Lots of animals showing up and like descriptions of people. This may be a sign for some of you to cut off a relationship with someone who only, like if we're honest, only cares about one thing or just enjoys the physical connection with you. But then when it comes to emotional support, when it comes to real intimacy, they are nowhere to be found. This could be a sign for you guys to cut that person off. An Aries person could be significant. Also, these are all like Chinese zodiac animals. I'm not going to name all the years, but if you know them off the top of your head, or if you're interested in looking them up, a year of the rabbit person, a year of the dog person, or a year of the rat person could be significant. And I feel like I want to get one more pull for you guys. Also, I'm thinking about how rabbits are fast, they move quickly, they multiply quickly. So, you know, if I took this literally, it could be ending a relationship with someone who's like overly concerned or only concerned with your sexual connection. But it could also be like if someone is stubborn or really pushy in terms of like trying to rush you to do something and not respecting the time that you need to think about things, or anyone who like shames you for doing things slower. Like, what do you mean you can't do that yet? What do you mean you haven't gotten out of bed yet? Like, whatever it is, anyone who like pushes you to be faster and like get a move on, but like not in a supportive way, it could be time to end things with those people. There could also be someone who's like attracted to you but it's like not appropriate. like I'm thinking of someone at work. I'm sorry, that's kind of a weird message, but yeah, like anyway, let's just keep going. We have Caterpillar. Things will not always be this way. A change is coming. And the camera actually wants to focus on this. You are protected. You are a caterpillar in your cocoon. That's your winter season. That's your season of preparation. And as you are preparing, you are protected and your wishes are protected. While you are preparing and resting up and healing and transforming in your cocoon, no one or nothing and no one could come in the way of those blessings. They are waiting for you. They have your name on them. You take all the time you need. Don't let anyone rush you. Exactly. My lovely group number 3s, these are all of the messages that I have for you. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you are watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have a link down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. And you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I will also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, to anyone who appeared in this reading, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number fours, so if you guys chose the Aventurine, this is going to be your reading all about the next breakthrough that is about to happen in your life. So we're gonna start off by taking a look at these oracle cards. Your first card is Dreams. Then we have Waxing Gibbous Moon. Almost There. And Rainbow Blessings. Blessings are showering your life. Wow. Okay, my group number fours, just judging from these initial oracle cards that we have laid out here, it does seem like the nature of this breakthrough could be different for different people who are watching this reading. We will get more details when we get into the tarot, and some more specific scenarios may come up. But what I can tell from these first oracle cards is that this next breakthrough that you are experiencing is something that you have been dreaming about. Whether that is like, you could very well be dreaming about this in your sleep, like having prophetic dreams or dreaming about a certain desired reality. And of course, this could be referring to your waking dreams, things that you daydream about, the future that you dream about. I think it's very interesting. These two cards are super similar because the Waxing Gibbous Moon, it is almost a full moon. It is so close to being a full moon, and the full moon represents completion and fulfillment. And then Almost There, it's also so close to being like a complete circle. And in the Dreams card, we have a full moon. So if the full moon represents the realization of your wishes, it's like you have been dreaming about this full moon, and in your reality, you are almost at the full moon. Does that make sense? 222 as I'm talking about this, by the way. You're so close to your desired reality. You are so close to your dream reality. You are literally almost there. You are almost at the full moon. The full moon represents the fruition of your dream. Full moons also can represent like strong feelings, intense emotions, or feeling intensely pulled towards something. If you think about how the moon pulls at the tides, this could also be something that your feelings towards it only continue to grow more and more, become stronger and stronger, more and more intense, like your love for something only keeps growing and growing. It's like this desire or this pull that you feel that you cannot ignore. And Rainbow Blessings is even more of a confirmation that it reminds me of the 10 of Cups, actually. Like your happily ever after, your wildest dreams coming true, your emotional fulfillment, blessings are showering your life. So yeah, I think we'll have to get into the tarot. I'm also going to roll some dice to see more about like what the nature of this could be. But I think that this is probably giving some significant clues to those of you who are watching this. Like this is something you've been dreaming about, that you've been feeling very strongly emotional towards, and your spiritual team wants to confirm to you that it is almost here. Like your desired reality is almost here. So I want to go ahead and read the passage from the guidebook for this card. It is card number 44. And it is on page 100. And, oh, this one is long. Okay. So Almost There, and it has the fox on it. In the blossoming spring season, little Fox frolicked and skipped in the wild woods. As he played, his attention was constantly drawn to a distant light. The light glimmered deep in the forest past the rumbling river. Although he couldn't quite make out what the light was, every bone in his body knew that it was meant for him, and his soul would spark with joy when he saw it. It was as if the light were a magnet calling out to him. But whenever little Fox ventured toward the light, he was always abruptly stopped by the roaring river before him. Little Fox would fall into despair, for he could not unite with the light that called him. Time went on, and spring became summer. Little Fox would continue to catch glimpses of the light. Still filled with excitement and longing to unite with his beloved light, he would regularly attempt to reach it, only to again be blocked by the roaring river. More time passed, and as autumn approached, Little Fox grew and learned many lessons. Yet he was still faced with an unquenchable thirst for the light. Little Fox became distraught and angry toward life. He often cried out in sharp howls, forsaking life for presenting him the beauty of the light without allowing him to embrace it. He grew mistrustful that life did not have his best interest in mind, and increasingly became hardened and jaded. Autumn transformed into winter. By this point, Little Fox was Big Fox, but his heart was broken, for the only thing he ever longed deeply for was out of his reach. Big Fox gave up. During the early winter months, Big Fox did what he had to do to survive, but he had a hole in his heart. He walked with his head low, for he could not bear to look up and see the out-of-reach light. One night, as Big Fox lay asleep, snow began to fall. When Big Fox awoke, he was taken aback at this new element he had never experienced. As he started his day, he saw a gaggle of geese standing on the river in the distance. Completely perplexed at how they were now standing on water, he approached the river with caution. He had learned through all his seasons of life that he must be careful and cautious. As he put his paw on the water, he found it to be hard and sturdy. He gasped and thought, could it be? Could this be the path to my light? Big Fox carefully crossed the hard water with deep awareness. He listened for the cracks and creaks in the hard water and scanned the sky for hawk approaching. As he crossed the river with extreme care, it dawned on him that if he were Little Fox, he would have run boldly across the hard water without a care in the world, and could have been hurt or even killed. A shower of epiphanies began to rain on him. He realized that he had to go through all the seasons and learn all the lessons to be prepared to walk toward the light destined for him. As Big Fox finally crossed the great river, he thanked Mother Earth and Father Sky and understood that he had to wait to gain the wisdom that prepared him for crossing the great river. If there is something you yearn for in your heart and have been trying to achieve with little to no success, this is a profound confirmation that it is approaching. Be patient. There is wisdom in the waiting. This is the preparation time. You are gaining what you need to unite fully with what your heart desires. Endure, endure, endure. Ooh, tell me why I feel like crying when I read that. Woo! I felt really intuitively called to use this guidebook today, so I've been reading. This is a great deck, by the way, the Animal Apothecary. I've been reading the passages for every group, and I'm really glad that I did that, because the guidebook is amazing, and I feel like that was a really powerful message. And I do feel like this is something that you've been yearning for, and that's been very close to your heart through many stages of your life, something that has been consistent. Even as you grow and get older, as you learn new lessons, as you evolve, as you enter different stages of your life, it's something that's always there and that never really goes away. And maybe something that at times you would like to think is not there or look away from it, because it's like, what's the point of looking at my light if it's not here yet? It's only painful. Like, it may be something that you try to downplay because at times getting your hopes up maybe hurt too much or felt futile. So really, we're really affirming the depth of this wish and also that it is your destiny. So I'm gonna roll a few dice now. We have the moon, and there's been so much moon imagery. We have Taurus, and we have the number 8. This is very specific, but it could be a relevant astrological placement. The moon in Taurus in the 8th house. But yeah, I'm not surprised to see Taurus here because, for one, it is a representation of persistency, which I think that this love or this wish has been very persistent in your life. It hasn't waned, it hasn't gone away, it has withstood the different seasons of your life. And it's also an indication of patience, like the patience that has been required on your part, and the perseverance and the endurance. But also, Taurus is related to all things like in the physical world, in our physical reality. And so I do think this Taurus energy is a confirmation of your wishes manifesting in your physical reality. With the moon here, it's like the moon is the innermost part of you. It's the most intimate part of you. There's something about this wish that it's almost like a part of the makeup of your soul. I do believe it is a part of your destiny in this lifetime, and maybe of many lifetimes, that it's really become like a part of your heart or a part of your soul. And again, you know, the moon has phases, the moon fluctuates. And so it's just coming through so strong that as the seasons of your life fluctuate, this is something that will remain. This is something that will be a constant. And with the 8th house here, that's also very, very deep. This is related to Scorpio energy. This could be something that you kind of keep to yourself, or keep secret, or keep sacred, but that I think many other souls can relate to. Many other people can relate to having a wish this deep, or having a love this deep. It could also be because, you know, the 8th house in Scorpio energy is highly intuitive and psychic. This journey could be one that has really making you aware of your psychic, that's not a word, made you, there you go, made you aware of your psychic abilities, made you aware of your greater purpose, and inspired you to continue on your spiritual path. It could also be a connection, again, to your past lives. This 8th house in Scorpio energy does remind me of that as well. Like, it's no wonder that you could not just simply let this go, or just like forget about it. It is very much a part of you, a part of your soul. Yeah, this is your destiny. So with that being said, we're going to get into the tarot. I do feel like many of you know what this is referring to, but because it's just so intense. Like, if you were feeling these things towards something or someone or somewhere, like, you would know. It would be very unmistakable and very strong. But if you are still confused, honestly, if you're still confused, maybe this is not your group. But we are going to get into the tarot now and get any more details that you need. And it's interesting too that you guys chose the Muse tarot, because this wish in your heart, I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of like inspires things you do in all areas of your life, and makes life feel beautiful and magical. I also feel that there's some kind of telepathy going on. So this could be, for example, this could be like a union with someone that you're manifesting, and you're in telepathic communication with them, or you are in telepathic communication with the other souls who are involved in making this happen. Like, if this was a wish that you had for your career, or a wish that you had for like change that you wish to see in the world, then there will probably be many other people involved in bringing about that change or helping you reach your goals. And so you are in telepathic communication with those souls, even if you don't know who they are yet. The numbers, like repeating 2s as well as repeating 4s, also repeating 7s, could be relevant to this group. And I also feel like symbolism of the moon, especially full moons, are significant to this group. Rainbows as well. And of course, the fox could be a significant spirit animal. Okay, my group number 4s. Are there any other details that group number 4 needs to know about this breakthrough? Or are there any other breakthroughs that group number 4 should know about? We are asking Spirit and your spiritual team for any information that you may need. Okay, we have the 9 of materials, which is the 9 of pentacles. We have strength. Woo! That's a lot. The wheel, which is of course the wheel of fortune. And we have the 9 of inspiration, which is the 9 of wands. And then I'm also going to look at the bottom of the deck energy. Wow, so this is the Ace of Pentacles, but this is the card in the intro that this is a card in the intro that when you were choosing your group, I showed it. Wow. And 1616 on the camera timer when I showed this card. So I think it makes a lot of sense that the 9 of Wands is here, because we had so many messages about you're almost there, be patient, endure, hang in there a little longer. And that's all of the things that the 9 of Wands stands for. Being the number 9, it is one step away from 10, which is the number of completion. That's as high as the minor arcana go in tarot. So this is an indication of you being so close to your goal. And I think it's also no coincidence that we have 8, 9, 10. It's you're in the final stages, and then 1 represents your new beginning. This is no coincidence. And even the elements that we have here, fire representing your gut feelings, representing your passion, representing creative potential, and then earth, which represents that something has been grounded, something is now in your physical, tangible reality. You are manifesting something that you are very passionate about, and that you've always known deep down in your gut was for you. Just like when that fox saw the light as a baby, as little fox, he maybe didn't necessarily understand what exactly it was or where his feelings of yearning were coming from. He just knew deep down that it was for him. And I think that it's so important that you honor that feeling, and that you understand that yes, happiness is for you. These blessings are for you. With the 9 of Pentacles here, there's actually 2 different interpretations that kind of came to my mind at the same time. For those of you who have career aspirations, this is a great sign. It indicates financial abundance. It indicates the freedom to do what you want to do. Independence. It's a great card for those who are wanting to be self-employed, be a freelancer and make their own hours, choose who they work with, have their own business. This is a great card for that. So if that is in your wishes, I want to confirm to you that it is possible. You can do it. It may require, this is also patience, perseverance, endurance, but you can do it. And I feel like another thing is that it will be important to not take things personally. So, let's say you are selling something in your business, and then if you don't get a lot of sales, if you were to take that personally, it might look like what I'm making is trash. Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares about what I want to do. Taking it as a reflection of you and your worth and the quality of what you create. Whereas it may be something more technical of just needing to do better, search engine optimization, or like making the interface of your online shop more inviting, or like it could be more practical tweaks like that. And so it's really important not to immediately take it as like there's some deficit with me personally, because that can bring up intense emotions that can lead to discouragement, which can ultimately lead to you giving up. When we have strength here, it's really important to like control your emotions, or to not believe every negative thought that you have, and to stand strong and to stand firmly in spite of those. And the same thing goes for anything that you are trying to manifest. You have to kind of maintain, you have to be strong like a tree so that when a good thing happens, you don't get blown away, and when a bad thing happens, you don't get blown away. It can be very volatile when you feel very, very strongly about something. So I think this strength card, this lion kind of feels like an elephant, just like very strong and robust. I really think like your journey is not for the faint of heart, and it does require discipline and an ability to kind of rein in your intense emotions. And yes, to feel them, but to channel them in a way that is beneficial. This is like fire. It's creative energy. If you feel really intense emotions, it could be very beneficial to like transmute them into creative ventures, or into physical activity as well, like with all this fire energy. So career success is definitely an interpretation of this card. But for those of you whose aspirations are not professional in nature, there was a message coming through that some of you may be kind of using work to distract yourself from the longings of your heart, or trying to use like career growth or financial gain to supplement like tough inner work. Especially if you have wounds relating to self-esteem or self-worth, it can be really hard to go within and like look at where that came from. Doing the inner work on that can be really hard, and your ego might be kind of replacing that with like, I'm going to get rich, I'm going to make a successful business, and kind of erroneously thinking that that will boost your self-esteem or that will boost your self-worth. And it's not completely untrue, because when you have a thriving career and you feel like you're creating value in other people's lives and your work is being positively received, that can of course boost your self-esteem. And it would be kind of weird of me to pretend that it doesn't. Like, you can get a lot of fulfillment and feel good about yourself from your career, but the inner work is the foundation that you need. It's like trying to put a roof when there's no house there. Like you need the foundation of being good within yourself before you try to like top other things onto it. And so there may be some of you who are like distracting from matters of the heart with your career, or trying to like supplement inner work with building up your career. And that's not a judgment, by the way. It's just something that you may want to be aware of if that rings true for you. I also think it's important for this group to know that you can simultaneously, like for those of you who are manifesting a relationship, you can simultaneously like feel good on your own, feel confident on your own, feel whole and complete on your own, and long for partnership and companionship and affection. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. And it's not like, oh, if you're still longing for someone, it means that you don't love yourself enough. It means that you think you're incomplete on your own and you should just work on yourself harder. Like the desire for human connection and like being in love, not only is it beautiful, but it's such a natural part of being human. And I think especially in Western culture, like I don't know about other parts of the world, I'm Canadian, but I feel like Western culture really emphasizes like hyper independence and individualism. Actually, I do know, like, as someone who lives in Japan, there's a lot more emphasis on like the collective and the community. But yeah, I just feel like sometimes yes, it is very important to be independent and to love yourself and to feel whole and complete, like as a whole person on your own, but that doesn't negate the desire to experience true love. That doesn't negate the desire to come into union with your divine counterpart. Like, those two things can very much coexist. And I think if you allow those two things to coexist, it will just bring you so much inner peace, because it's like you're not fighting yourself. I think it's really important. 2525, as I'm talking about this, which some of you guys might know is like the personal number that I see a lot for soulmate and soul family unions. Any rendition of like 2s and 5s repeating. It's really important that you don't fight these desires, because they're there for a reason. Even this looks like a full moon. They are there for a reason. With strength here in the wheel, it really feels like this person is waiting patiently, like waiting for the wheel to turn, like Fox waiting for the seasons to change. The Wheel of Fortune represents a divine intervention, and I do think that that's what is coming for this group. And I think all that is really required on your end is patience. When we talk about being patient and like keeping your emotions in check, this is not a test, you know? It's not like, this is a test to see if you can be patient. This is a test to see if you can keep your emotions balanced. This is a test to see if you can do the inner work. And if you're able to do that, then we will grant you with your wish. It's not like that. These are things that your spiritual team encourages you to do, because while you wait, it will make you feel more peaceful. It will make you feel better. It is for you. It is not like a test to prove if you're ready or like prove if you're worthy. That's just something that I really want to emphasize, because I just feel like, and maybe a lot of you, this is a divine counterpart thing, because like if you've been like on that journey, I was gonna say on that side of the internet, I feel like there's a lot of like, oh, if we're not together yet, it's because I didn't do enough inner work, I didn't do enough healing. And I think the whole notion of like, if I heal myself, we will come into union, that kind of just makes you constantly feel like you're not doing enough. Like, where did I go wrong that we're not together yet? It becomes like this mission, and that's just not, it's just not helpful. So yeah, I just want to say that being patient, it's not a test from the universe that you pass or fail. It's a tool for you. It's a tool for you to be more comfortable during the wait. Like if I have to wait in a line for 2 hours, whether I'm frustrated and annoyed the whole time or whether I'm patient and okay with it the whole time, it's still going to take 2 hours. And when I get to the front of the line, I'm still going to get what I came there for. You know, it's not like if you can't wait in that line patiently, then you're not going to get your pretzel, which is apparently what I'm waiting for. But it's a tool that you can develop so that during those 2 hours, you don't feel like you're going to go crazy. It's to serve you. It's not to like, look, universe, look how mature I am. Can I have my pretzel now? So I just wanted to clear that up. That's like a narrative in the discourse in the spiritual community that I'm just like, can we not? I mean, and you can disagree with me, by the way. It's just, I don't know. I don't like that. Yeah. Anyway. And yeah, we spoke about this 9 of Wands being like, hang in there. You're almost there. Red and orange could be like very empowering colors for this group. Or this could be, you know, like indicating work on your root chakra and on your sacral chakra. I love the sacral chakra. It feels so good to work with her. And if you guys are into human design, that's like my strong area. So I don't know if you're into it and you know what yours is, but me and the sacral chakra, we're buddies. And I love listening to like meditation music for the sacral chakra, the root as well. And if you can listen to meditative music or listen to music that is in the keys of C and D, and I will also say C sharp, anywhere in that range, that could be stimulating for you, that could make you feel good. I don't know, like if you type into YouTube like meditative music in C, if it will come up, or like a lot of root and sacral chakra meditations are already in those keys. Well, not all of them, but because that's what they're for. For other songs, I don't know how you know, if you don't have perfect pitch, but anyway. So yeah, and then finally we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is what came up in the intro as well. A new beginning, something manifesting into your physical reality. Also a great card for new promising career ventures, for an increase in your income, for successful business. And I kind of like that this person is looking away from the Nine of Wands and looking away from all of this, because it's like, all of this will be behind you someday, and it may feel like an eternity right now. It might feel like painful, frustrating, but once this wish materializes, it's like you won't remember it. All of that frustration will be behind you. And you will probably actually look back on this journey fondly. Not to say you want to do it again, but you will look back on it fondly. And the Ace of Pentacles also represents like a concrete offer that is being made to you and that will last in the long term. So again, in the example, if you are manifesting like a union with your divine counterpart, this breakthrough, it's not just like, oh, you met them. Oh, they opened up to you. They said they had feelings for you, because Pentacles are sustained. They are long-term. There's something that you can rely on to be there and to lead to more in the future. So this would be like, in the divine counterpart example, this would be like, yes, we are together now. We are in like a long-term relationship now. That's what the breakthrough is. So if you get like a little glimpse of that, that's not your breakthrough yet. It's like your spiritual team is saying, hold on, we have more. We have the whole cake. We have the whole pretzel. It's coming. You will get the whole package. And so I also think it's important to not settle. I think another thing is like, from your subjective perspective, because this is something you care about so much and something or someone or somewhere that you love so deeply, it's like you might feel, because it's so precious to you, that it's like a very, very huge thing. And it's like a huge task for the universe to bring this to you. And as such, it's almost like you may feel bad. You may feel like you are asking too much from the universe. And that's not to say that your wish is not valuable, because it is. But I think it's like, to you, it is so big. And so when you feel like I'm asking the universe for something big, that feels like I am asking a lot of you. But you're not. It's not this big ordeal for the universe to bring it to you. Or maybe another way I should put it is that the universe doesn't get tired like humans do. So even if the universe was bringing you something huge, it's not the same thing as asking a huge favor out of a human, that like, oh, it's going to take time out of their day. It's going to take them energy. It doesn't work that way. And so some of you might be kind of personifying the universe when you ask for this blessing, and it feels like, oh, I'm asking a human for a really big favor. Like it carries that same kind of, oh, I don't mean to bother you. I'm sorry if this is a big ask. It just doesn't translate in the same way. And also your subjective love and your subjective like strong emotional attachment to this might make it feel like very big. You know, it's like if I'm obsessed with pretzels and I come from a place where pretzels cost like $1 million, if I ask someone for a pretzel, I'm gonna feel kind of like I'm doing too much, I'm asking too much. Whereas to that other person who is the universe, they're like, oh sure, here you go. Like, it's yours. All of that to say, please don't feel like you are asking the universe for too much, because the universe will happily grant this to you. So now we are going to look at some further oracle cards for additional messages and guidance. Wow. And there's that red and orange color again. It is always okay to ask for guidance when the way is unclear. It is always okay. And that's another thing of feeling like you're asking too much. Oh, but like I've already asked my spirit guides for so many answers. Again, it's not the same as pestering a human. Like these entities are like on a whole other level, and what we ask of them and feel like it's a bother or that like it's the whole world, like for them it could be as easy as pushing a button. Like we just don't know, and your spirit guides love you so much, and they would never be annoyed with you. They would never they would never want to withhold clarity from you if it could serve you. It is always okay to ask. We have the Dove Spirit with the number 21, which, can I just say, I love this because the number 21 is the number of the World card, and the World represents completion, fruition, fulfillment, fulfilling a cycle. Yeah, we have Dove Spirit and Be Peace. Oh, we have activating the third eye. I am willing to see beyond my beliefs, ideas, and conclusions. So the third eye is also important for this group. It's a balance. It's a balance of being grounded in your physical body and being grounded in your physical reality, but at the same time, understanding that that's not everything, and that there are things going on beyond the veil, so to speak, behind the scenes that maybe you cannot yet perceive with your five senses, but that are very much real and that are very much happening, and that things are at work for you in other dimensions. Things are moving, things are being built, things are shifting for you in this moment in the 3D. That just because you can't see it yet in front of your physical eyes, it doesn't mean that it's not happening. And having your third eye open can also facilitate a feeling of connectedness to your person, to your destination, to your goal, because your higher selves are together. And often when I'm doing readings that like we're talking about someone's wish, but what that wish is could be different from person to person, I find that like the same way your person has a higher self that you can interact with, your wish also has like a consciousness, so to speak, that you can interact with. So, you know, if your dream is to start a business, like that business already exists. It already exists in the higher dimensions to be grounded. It exists in the future of the 3D. And it does have its own consciousness. At least that's how it comes through in reading. So whether your wish involves another person or not, you can communicate with your wish. You can gain insight from your wish across space and time. And finally, we have ghosts. Funny, because I'm just talking about like transcending space and time. That feels very ghost-like. The grip of memories. Don't let the should have haunt you. Use it to move you forward and away from the past. I think something else that's really important for this group is recognizing that up until now, everything has happened exactly as it should. And you have not done anything wrong. Just like the fox had to go through all of the seasons, and then it was actually written really beautiful. It was like cascading epiphanies, I think. I'm just looking for it. A shower of epiphanies. A shower of epiphanies began to rain on him. He realized that he had to go through all the seasons and learn all the lessons to be prepared to walk toward the light destined for him. So you may not see now why things happened the way they did, but like this card says, don't let the should have haunt you, or the shouldn't have, or the could have, because you're not at the end of this journey yet. And so you can't have the full context for why these things happened. Although, if your third eye is open, you could, if you want to, ask your spirit guides to show you the perspective from your future where this wish has been grounded. What would it feel like if I was looking at my past and everything that has happened from that perspective? And they just might show you and bring you that clarity. So for the last part of the reading, we are going to take some tea leaf cards for any last messages that your spiritual team may want to share with you. I don't know how many are going to come out, however many want to. Okay, so we have, so these two came out together. A goal-oriented person, you will be shown the way. Love that. It is always okay to ask for guidance when the way is unclear. When the way is unclear, you will be shown the way. And a goal-oriented person. It's like, as long as you keep this goal in your heart and you are willing to work with the universe, you will always be shown the way. I also think the fact that this arrow is on the bullseye, it's like you are right on target. You are right on target with what you are desiring, with what you are meant to be moving towards. And we also have Kangaroo and Axe. Unsettled times need to plan ahead and forces working against you. This is very interesting. And I feel like I did this in a reading recently, but there's this oracle card that I always keep visible to me because it's something that I struggle with and something that I need to remind myself of. It's this card from the Divine Abundance Oracle right now. Stay in the present and don't get too far ahead of the flow. You'll soon trust that nothing more will come than can be handled in each moment. That's another thing that's balance, is like having the awareness that you can access past and future perspectives and that those can serve you. And at the same time, knowing the importance of being embodied in the present moment. This group has a lot of this and that are true kind of energies in here. And that's what happens when you start awakening your consciousness in multiple dimensions. What I was going to say is that when I look at these together, this group, you may spend a lot of time worrying about what could be an obstacle in the future. Rather than, like, it's one thing to see an obstacle in your present situation and address it and work on it. Like, that's good, that's healthy. And to some extent, it is good to, think about problems that could happen in the future and prepare for them. But this kind of feels like, even though everything is fine right now and everything is under control right now, it's like that's not enough to calm me down because it could go wrong in the future. And you can always think about something down the line that is going to go wrong. It never ends. And if that's your condition for being peaceful right now, like I can only be peaceful right now if I'm assured that nothing is going to go wrong in the future, like you're never going to be peaceful because there's a million things that could hypothetically go wrong. And there's also a lot of things that will go wrong in the future because life is life. But it is no use. It is no use to stress about those. And life is never going to give you, like this card says, life is never going to give you more than what you can handle in the moment. So, yeah, this group just, you might have a tendency of worrying about the future, and it's like, it's never ending because it's like you have this worry now, and then, okay, let's address this worry. Yeah, but then, a couple of days later, this might happen. Okay, so we address that. But then what about a couple weeks later? This might happen. And if you go like that, it never ends. So yeah, I think, I hope that makes sense. So yeah, I think those are all of the messages for my group number 4s. So I'm gonna end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and literally anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, your counterpart, if that is what this reading was about for you, and to anyone who appeared in this reading either directly or indirectly. I'm sending lots of love to your higher self and all past, present, future, and interdimensional parallel versions of you, to your spiritual team, your guides, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.